The market gives mixed signals as the S&P grinds higher while the NQ goes lower. Who's telling the truth? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about a couple different paths playing out, one of them being a triangle. And with the move to the 4120 SPX area, it does look like that's a strong possibility. The question is, can the bulls follow through on this complex pattern? I'll get into that in just one second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the push over into the 4120 area, it does make wave 5 up a little less likely and the triangle a little more likely. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And as I talked about in the intro, it does look like we have the potential for a triangle to play out where you have this A wave high here back on around December 12th. Then you get the A of the triangle down, then B, C, we would be in the D leg right now, still able to push up a little bit higher as long as we don't take out this B wave high. And then you'd get the E leg down toward the 3950 area for the triangle. And then from there, we'd look for C to continue higher up. So the B wave would just be a very large triangle, which would end over here at this E leg. And then we'd look for C up from there. Now, if they're unable to complete the triangle, it is still possible we have this 1-2 setup, and it's going to look very similar to the triangle. So it is still possible we can pull back to our support region, okay? And our support region here is the 4,006 down to the 3918 level on the S&P 500 for a wave 2. Okay, so it is still possible that we could be completing wave 1 up, and have the wave 2 pullback that looks very much like the triangle, and then start wave 3 from there. We'll know the difference if this wave is an explosion higher that has no pullback, whereas wave C up would have a 1-2 setup like this. So if it's going to be a pullback in wave 2 and then wave 3 higher, it will make a direct move back over this high, whereas you'll need a 1-2 type setup over here for the C wave. So a strong move higher indicates that we're in wave 3, and a move up and then a pullback would indicate that we're in the start of C, and we did have the triangle play out. So they're going to look pretty similar if we get the pullback. And based on a few different factors, the oversold areas that we're in on the MACD, the negative divergence we're getting on the MACD, it does look like we should be pulling back fairly soon. Now, if they don't pull back and the market's allowed to do whatever it wants, if they do explode higher and move directly toward this 4226 region on the futures, okay, that would indicate that we are very likely in wave 3 of 3, where wave 1 would be this high here at the 4071 region. Wave 2 would have been the low around 3937, and thus you'd be getting your 1, 2, 1, 2, and then wave 3 would extend to the 4226 area. You'd look for a pullback to about 4116, and then you'd look for a move up in wave 3 of 3 toward the 4316 area, and we'd go from there after that. So that is the other bullish potential. And then the last possible potential, and I know there's a lot here, guys. I normally don't have this many paths, but we do have an extended wave here that doesn't really play out well because you don't have a very impulsive 1-2 here. You don't have an impulsive move to the downside, so there's no real clear path playing out other than the triangle, which is why it is currently the path we are looking for to play out. But we do have one more possibility, and that is this is a higher wave 2 of the C wave down, and we would look for a wave 3 setup where we got a wave 1 of 3 and then 2 of 3 down, and then a move strongly down from there in wave 3 of C. And this wave 1 would be much deeper than wave 2, so it would break through our support at 3918. So I know it's a lot to go over. 4 paths is almost always too many, but we are just in a very odd spot where you don't have an impulsive move down, you don't have an impulsive move up, you don't have a great structure for either. We don't support a move directly higher, but we have 2 different patterns that can play out higher with a pullback. So it's a little bit complex right now, and we're kind of in a wait-and-see mode to see exactly how this plays out. But my primary is still that we are in this triangle, and we should be pulling back into support before launching higher from there. Over on the NASDAQ kind of was the canary in the coal mine today. NASDAQ pulled back almost 1% before trying to come back up to close the gap here. And they can even push it a little bit higher, but the NASDAQ has played very good Fibonacci pinball the whole way. It's hit its targets, and we should expect a pullback in the NASDAQ, and we saw weakness in it today comparatively. And so that is something we're watching and keeping an eye on to kind of confirm which pattern we're in and to kind of give us that idea that we should be expecting a pullback as well. So the NASDAQ, we'd be expecting a pullback into the 12,740 to 12,384 range. And then we'd be looking for a move up from there in wave 1 of 3 and then 2 of 3 and then on up after that toward the 15,000 region on the NASDAQ. So this is what you would expect to see from the NASDAQ as a primary count. But it is possible also that NASDAQ is in its wave 3. And if that's the case, we would want to see the NASDAQ move directly up toward the 13.8 or even and through that to the 14,122 region to complete wave 3 of 3. And if that's the case, we would look for a pullback to the 13.5 region and then up from there. Again, I don't think there's enough to support that kind of move here, so I don't think that's where we're at. And we are expecting a pullback on both charts. So the primary count, again, is pulling back into support. And then the secondary count is that we're already in wave 3 and we would push directly toward the 14,100 area. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link and it will take you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans. And they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it. And I want you to become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We just started our Elliott Wave for Beginners course where we go over how I teach Elliott Wave and use it to find all the targets we've mentioned. And that comes with both memberships. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months. We don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are looking for day trading as well as individual stocks, check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. It's something you have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, key takeaways for today. Okay, in the ES, we are kind of in a wait and see mode as we are not impulsive to the downside, not impulsive to the upside, so we don't support direct moves in either direction. So we have to see if the triangle or the wave 2 is going to play out. Alternatively, if they do decide to push it higher, we would adjust into a wave 3 setting at that time. Over on the NASDAQ, playing much more appropriate fib pinball, have a detailed wave 1 up, looking for a pullback into support into the 12,560 to 12,160 range. Then we would look for a move stronger from there. However, if they do break to the upside through the 13.5 area, we would look for a direct move up toward the 14,100 area before a pullback after that. Guys, that is the market update for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.